Big Brother 21 premiere last night was epic, and we are here to break down everything that happened. It's time to wrap up reality. I'm your host, Tom Vasey, and guess what? Welcome to TV Talks with Tom. So yeah, folks, the BB21 premiere happened last night. It's a part one of a two-night premiere, so we'll be seeing the next one tonight, and I will also be doing a video on that and everything that happened. But for now, let's cover what happened last night and all the shenanigans, all the drama, and basically just all the twists and turns that happened in a classic night one of Big Brother. So let's talk about what happened. First of all, we met the house guests, which we know already. You know, if you're obviously a fan, you will have seen the interviews that they've done already, and we would have seen just to follow them on, like, you know, seeing sort of what's going on social media about them, the sort of general consensus of them. But we actually got to see them in action this time. So we did the bit where they all got their keys, and then obviously you go in sections of 4, but you're part of 8, aren't you? So when you stand there, so the first 8 to go in, I've got this up on the wall here, so I'm ready to read it out. We had Catherine, who's also now known as Cat, I believe, so we're calling Catherine Cat from now on. I'll probably say Catherine though in this video because I'm used to it. Catherine, Ovi, Holly, Jack, or Jacquaman, some people might say, because he looks like Aquaman, Jason Momoa. We'll get to that. Jackson, Tommy, Nicole, and Kemi were the first 8 to enter the BB house. So they went in, and there wasn't that much going on apart from we did see, like I said in a previous video, Ovi and Jackson both went to the same college. They both graduated from UT, so they know, well, they don't know each other, but they have common ground because they went to that place together. So yeah, I mean that's going to create a bond between the two immediately, meaning that there'll be, I don't know if it'll be an alliance, but there'll be an understanding. Let's not go for each other, because why annoy each other when we've got common ground, if that makes sense, compared to someone who he doesn't have any common ground with at all. So then we had obviously Jacquaman going up the ladder. Yeah, the BB house has got a ladder now. It's taking it up a notch, people. We have a ladder in the BB house. So Jack goes up this ladder and he sees the fish and he's like, "These are my fish. I am Aquaman. I'm going to rule over the land," which was a pretty good skit. So I like that. And yeah, that was all we saw from the first 8 that moved in, and then we moved back out to the entrance of the BB house where Julie introduced us to the next 8 house guests, which were Cliff Hogg the Third, Jessica, Christy, Sam, Nick, Isabella, which we now call Bella, and let me just go back to Jessica. I think we're going to call her Jess. So we have Isabella, who's called Bella, David, and Annalise. So yeah, they were the next 8 to move in, and when I say next 8, I mean the final 8 to move in that we know of. So Cliff sort of was introducing himself to a few people, and he got a few names wrong when people were introducing themselves. So that's the sort of that was the vibe Cliff was given, but I like Cliff. Cliff is my pre-season favourite. I root for the old guy because he's an underdog, and we know what happens to the older guy usually, so it's nice to sort of think, you know, come on, let's root for the older guy. Hope that he does well, so that's what I'm hoping for Cliff. So he did get a few names wrong, and then he was sort of saying, we've got a saying in Texas, it's called playing possum. So he was lying down on the diary room chair, like sideways, like this. Obviously the back would be there, and he was lying down and just doing that, that was my rubbish impression of Cliff playing possum. So that was the fun thing. That was my highlight of the episode. It was hilarious, and I saw a lot of memes and sort of stuff on social media of people jumping on board on that already. And I saw someone tweeted something along the lines of like, "We have to keep Cliff. This guy's going to provide us with lots of memes." Indeed, he will. We got to keep Cliff. We're all rooting for Cliff. And I did actually see a growing support for Cliff last night on social media because towards the start, I think people are quite. I think it's unfair, the fact that some people jump on the bandwagon of like, oh yeah, let's not root for the old guy because he's old. I don't respect that one bit. I think you should take everything into account and judge people solely on but judge is a strong word. I'd say you sort of, from first impressions, I think you need to judge people just on their, I hate using the word judge, but it's what it is essentially. Everyone does it. On their videos, on the interviews and stuff like that. And to me, the people who were getting rooted for, such as Kemi, I'm really not a big fan of her. She even said she's a mean girl. She's known as a mean girl in her intro video. And yeah, I don't like her. I don't understand why people are rooting for her. She comes across as nasty and mean, and sort of like she thinks she's better than everyone else. She could change my mind, but we'll see. Cliff, on the other hand, seems like a sort of just a nice old guy who's just there for a laugh and he's got a few stories to tell as well, so that'll be interesting. But I just don't understand why people can hate someone like that and love someone like Kemi. But again, my mind could be changed. This is early days, people, but we'll see as the game goes on. But to me, Kemi didn't come across as very well in last night's episode, whereas Cliff did. Besides them though, we saw people were going up to the kitchen, and then Jack and Jackson got talking about food, which led on to about like doing gym stuff together, about some pumping some iron in the backyard, and then they sort of bonded straight away. That was a bromance waiting to happen. So yeah, they self-proclaimed that that was a bromance going on. So we have our first bromance of the season, likely going to be Jack and Jackson. I would say it was pretty predictable that was going to happen. So yeah. But I will say, I do think because they're both physical threats, clearly, and they both said that as well. By working together, they're going to get a huge target on their back. When two physical threats work together, people are like, oh, watch out for them, because they could just dominate competitions, and there's no getting rid of them. So I feel as if they're working together and someone isn't a big fan of them, as soon as they get the head of household, they are going to take a shot at them. So they need to watch their backs, or just be winning a load of comps, or otherwise one of them's heading out, probably pre-merge, I would say. Pre-merge, oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. Pre-merge is, I'm so used to Survivor, I've been talking about that for so long. I did not mean pre-merge, let me take that back. I mean pre-jury. I can't believe I got that wrong. Oh my god, I'm ashamed of myself. I'll get in the swing of Big Brother. Watch this, I'll come around to the next season of Survivor in the fall, and I'll be going, yeah, it won't get to pre-jury. Because essentially it is a jury, but it is, it's merge on there, we call it. So I got that wrong there. I apologise, folks. Pre-jury is what I meant. Then we did see that, when I talked about in my previous episode as well, that some house guests may know each other pre-game, and I was right, but it wasn't me who came up with that, obviously. It was the loyal BB fans scouring the internet to try and find out every last bit of information that they can. Overall, though, I think it's going to be a really interesting dynamic between Tommy and Christy. I mean, it could be, as they said, it could be make or break for their game. Seriously, if they work together, then that's a pre-game bond which could take them far, which with more trust than someone that you've just met. Or it could be fatal. There might be bad blood between them. Who knows? But we don't know what the dynamic was between that. And let's just delve into that. That's their personal life, so I'm not going to go too far into that, but it's just the rumours that we've heard, which is why I brought them up. But besides that, I think the dynamic's going to be very interesting to play out between them. Next up, we had sort of like where they all sit around the couch, the sofa, and they all introduce themselves one by one. This happens every single year. So we only saw like a snippet of it, really. We didn't see everyone introducing themselves, but we saw quite a few of the house guests introducing themselves. So we had Jess teaching folks how to roll their R's. So they were going, I can't even do it myself. It was, that's about right, I think. That drop a thumbs up if that was a good R roll. But yeah, that was my attempt at an R roll. But there was some people trying to do the R rolls. I think Jack did it all right, Ovi did it all right, and then Sam tried an attempt at it and it sort of failed. So just catch the episode and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, that sort of failed. Holly reveals her profession, how she works on a safari and drinks wine with that great combination. But sort of, I think a lot of people thought that was a great combination. I'm saying how I'm pretty sure Jack said something like, Holly's got the coolest job in the house, and Jack did say in his DR that he was attracted to her straight away. So there we go. That's a potential showmance. That's going to happen. It depends how Holly feels back to Jack. Sam was telling folks about his surname, how it's Smith, Sam Smith, and then everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And then he was like, "Yes, I was the original Sam Smith. I was here before." So yeah, Sam Smith, the artist, came after Sam Smith, the truck driver. But I don't think there's any what do you call it? Revelation? What's the word? I can't think of it. I'm jogging my mind. There's no... let's come back to that. I can't think of the word for it. There's no... What do you call it when there's like a... I wouldn't say connection's not the word. Constellation? I don't know. Let's leave that. But I don't think there's any connection between the two. And then we said that... Annalise, she said, "My name's Annalise, but everyone calls me Sis," so we'll see if everyone calls her Sis. And in the diary room, we saw that Jackson was attracted to Annalise, so that's another showmance that could potentially be happening this summer. Kemi reveals her job, and she tried to sort of make a joke, and it failed. No one laughed, and it was sort of just a bit awkward. And then she was sort of saying in the diary room, "Yeah, I've got to work on my jokes." And then I thought, at least she's open to self-criticism there. And then she was like, "Oh wait, no, maybe I don't need to work on my jokes. People need to work on their perception of my joke." I just thought, oh my god, this is exactly what I expected Kemi to be like. Just a nasty sort of giving off a mean girl vibe all the time. I didn't respect that at all. She just sort of comes across as she thinks she's better than every single person on this earth. So I just thought, nah, I don't like that. Again, that was something that made me go, I don't like Kemi. Sorry to the Kemi fans out there, but unless she changes my mind, then I'm going to continue sort of saying what I think. That's what this is for. I'm sort of giving my opinion of these house guests here. Then we had Jack. Jack revealed his job. I can't remember what it was, but it was sort of like the old Aquaman vibe was getting there again with all the house guests. Everyone, I'm pretty sure someone said #Aquaman. So then we saw that Kemi, Catherine, also known as Kat, and especially Nicole and Annalise seemed attracted to him. So again, I would imagine that Jack's probably going to get definitely going to get in a showmance, because he had all those girls attracted to him, and he was attracted to Holly as well. So he's probably more likely than anyone to get in a showmance. After that, where they're all doing cheers with the champagne, flutes and everything, whatever. Bella was in the diary. She was saying, I'm thinking game already. Whilst everyone's being all nicey nice, she was saying, I will mentally destroy you if you come up in my face. She gave me strong throwback to the BB fans here. I wasn't alive when this came out. Where will I be? I might have been like 2 or 1 years old, but I've watched the season. BB4 throwback, June Song, the winner. I'm getting June Song vibes off Bella. June Song is a legend of the game. She created the floater strategy. I didn't get floater vibes off Bella, but just the personality and sort of the way, because June was sort of very sort of like, I'm not going to take any nonsense off anyone, and she was just sort of like quite stand-up-ish, and I like June. June was a great player, so I'm looking forward to see Bella play as well. If she has got sort of any how can you say it? If she sort of has the same style of gameplay as June, we'll say. So next we had Julie gathering the house guests in the living room as she begins to reveal the theme of the summer. So the theme, I think we'd figured this out already by the house photos and the vibe of the season. It is Camp BB, so it's just a summer camp, the craziest summer camp ever. So yeah, Camp BB, and we are told by Julie to everyone that a camp director is going to be elected, and they will be safe for the first week, and they will have a lot of power and influence in the game, and they could make or break someone's game, we were told as well. So initial shock amongst the house guests, but you could see straight away some people were like, I want my hands on that prize, because, you know, Julie just offered safety for 1 week, so why wouldn't you take it? And then there's a lot of people going, whoa, I do not want a target on my back week 1, so let's not go there. But let's talk about who actually wanted it and who didn't want it. So we saw that Julie sort of said, right, so what's going to happen is how the election works. Every single house guest is going to vote 1 person each, and the person with the most votes will become camp director. So they sort of started discussing the role amongst the house guests themselves, and they were like, okay, so who wants to actually volunteer? Who wants to campaign to become camp director? And it was a bit silent for a moment. Then straight away, Cliff stood up and he was like, right, you know what? I'm self-aware. I know that the old guy is, you know, he's usually sort of a target on week 1. So I'd like to sort of, it'd be nice to sort of know I've got safety for week 1. And Christy was like, yeah, that's a valid point, and everyone thought it was. So that was fair enough. At least it didn't backfire on him. And then we had David stand up, and David was like, he said in the diary room, like, Julie's just offered me safety for week 1. Of course I'm going to try and take it. So he stood up and sort of gave his pitch. Then we had Jess stand up, and she was sort of like, yeah, I'd like to take it. She was the only woman to stand up. So it was 3 men and I'll get to the last man in a second. 3 men and 1 woman who stood up to try and get the power. And Jess gave a good pitch. She was sort of just saying she'd like to have it, and I think she'd like some people to sort of to get behind her for it. And then we had Jackson also stand up, and he gave the worst pitch in the world. He was sort of just like, yeah. He was sort of drawn. He was like, someone's got to do it, and I might do it. You can vote me if you want, but someone's got to do it at the end of the day. So he had the worst pitch in the world, but we'll get to where that led to afterwards. It was so bad though. Come on, you can't stand up there and do a pitch like that. You gotta give it some oomph or some reasoning behind it, rather than just being like, yeah, I'll take one for the team, you know. Just come on, add a bit of oomph to it. You know what I mean? Put a bit of personality in there, because otherwise, I think, because he don't get me wrong, he had a personality for the rest of the episode, but that pitch was like, I'm falling asleep here. Oh, and I'm back when he's finished talking. So that was a bit boring when he was giving his pitch. Initially sort of this sort of dissolved, that everyone sort of started dispersing around in the house, and the girls plus Tommy said, yeah, we're going to vote Jess, we'll all back Jess. There's going to be some solidarity here amongst the girls, but I think we know in BB history that a all-female alliance never really works well. All male alliances tend to work better than female alliances, but again, any sort of alliance like that is going to have a huge target on their back. But it's sort of known amongst the BB fandom that female alliances don't work as well as male alliances in Big Brother history. So, but an example of male alliances work, and let's throw it back to, I believe, BB5, where we had Drew, Cowboy, I forget their names, Jace, I think, was one, and I've lost it. It's been a while since I watched that season, but there was 4 of them, and it got them far, I believe. It ended up being Cowboy and Drew in the end, so that was 2 of them that got to the end. And an even better example of that would be BB Can 7, where we had Dane, Mark, Adam, and Anthony. They all worked together, and they ended up getting to, I believe, they all got to the final 5, but Kira ended up winning HOH. So the 4 of them ended up getting disbanded before they could get to the final 4 together. But again, really great alliance that got them far in the game. So yeah, that's just 2 examples of an all-male alliance that's gone far. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of an all-female alliance that's gone far. I remember there was an attempt at one in Celebrity Big Brother 1, and it sort of all disbanded. I mean, Ross sort of got involved with it, and then Shannon ended up getting outed, I think, week 3 or so. Not I think it only lasted for about 3 weeks, but sort of like she was the 3rd evictee, and Shannon was probably one of my favourites that season, so that was quite annoying to sort of see her go. But there was some good characters that season. I enjoyed it. There was Brandy, Omarosa. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but Omarosa was a good house guest, and if they do a Celebrity Big Brother All Stars, I do think Omarosa will return. But besides that, we're not talking about Celebrity Big Brother, we're talking about BB21. To go back to that, where was I? Right, okay, so Kemi was sort of saying in the diary room, no matter who I vote, I just need to be in the majority. I don't want a rogue vote. That's fair enough. That's a fair point. I agree with that. You can't be, you make yourself a target by being a rogue vote. So I think the best thing to do is try and be in the majority. More in regards to camp director, we saw Jackson begin to campaign for votes because he really wants it too. And he and Jack were in the bathroom, and they sort of I'm going to say it, they created an alliance. It was sort of a 2 thing where they were like, we got each other, even if they even were bold enough to say, even if we have to win like back-to-back HOHs, we're just going to have to do it because I think physically we're capable. I think that's hard. I don't think, in jogging my memory, I can't really think of anyone who's pulled off back-to-back HOHs for every single week. You're just going to get, there's no way. I mean, the chances of doing that are just like through the roof. Like it, and 2 as well, not all of them are physical comps, some are mental comps, and some physical comps are hard to do. It's not specific that like if you're able physically, you can smash every single physical comp, because there's different aspects of physicality that get incorporated into each competition. So I think it's very, very bold and confident to say that. It's not going to work. They're not going to win back-to-back HOHs, but we'll see where that goes. Jackson he then talks to like Nicole, Jack and Nick about voting him. He sort of says, I want you all to vote me. I don't want to sort of end up being voted out week 1 because of the perception of the way I look of being a physical threat. That's what he said. And then Nicole did say in the DR, she said, I'm pretty sure she actually said it in front of them. I can't remember. I don't think she said it as straightforward as she did in the diary room, but she did say, I'd be willing to flip to Jackson instead of voting for Jess, because I feel like more votes would be going his way, and I'd rather have Jess being out with me than Jackson, who's a much bigger physical threat. And Bella also said they were in the snug with loads of people, and Bella also said, like, I really did think that all the votes were going to go for Jess, but no longer, it doesn't look like it anymore. I think that the votes are going to be going Jackson's way, so I'm 100% willing to change my vote. I just want to be in the majority, and I do think that's the key in this in this election. I think the best thing to do, obviously it's early days as well, so you don't want to create a target on your back by not being in the majority, so they probably should. So Jackson says that, if he can get the numbers, he can leave Jess, Cliff and David in the minority and stay with the other 3 who stood up to campaign. And that's interesting, but that could that could be interesting in future sort of episodes to sort of see how the dynamics are going to play out. Well, obviously the live feeds will be coming up soon, so we'll see sort of a clearer sort of representation of where people stand with one another, and also just game wise I think it'll be really interesting to see, so I'm looking forward to that too. So anyway, after all these shenanigans happening, everyone's trying to campaign for vote, eventually they're all brought out to the backyard one by one, and they all have a voting ballot, and they stick it in everyone's got a voting box, and they just stick the ballot into it's like just a little ticket, and they all stick their ticket into whoever's box that they want to vote for, and then all the votes are cast. Once all the votes were cast, every single house guest stood behind their podium in the backyard, and it was sort of all set up like on like a big sort of tree house sort of cabin thing to represent BB summer camp. So they all stood behind their podiums, and Julie revealed that we'll see who's got no votes and out of the running. So the shtick was, good word, shtick. The shtick was that they would sort of stand there, and if they had 0 votes, they were going to get gunged massively in the face, and that was quite entertaining because some of them were hit with the velocity so much that they just went flying back, and I'm pretty sure Bella fell over. That's a reveal there. Bella didn't get any votes. So the ones that didn't get any votes were Tommy, Holly, Christy, Sam, Kemi, Bella, Cliff, Nicole, Ovi, Catherine, David and Annalise. They got no votes, so they all got massively gunged in the face, which left Jack, Jackson, Jessica and Nick with some votes. Now Cliff in the diary room was like, oh, none of you young'uns voted for me. You felt a bit sorry for him, but again, I think that's going to make people root for Cliff because he's just a likeable guy, really. So yeah, we had Jack, Jackson, Jessica and Nick with votes left. So with 1 vote each and getting gunged was Jack and Nick. So left in the running now we had Jessica and Jackson, and with 4 votes and getting gunged is Jess. So that means Jackson has won and became camp director. He had 10 votes, so that's a lot of votes. So the votes were 10 votes Jackson, 4 votes Jess, and 1 vote for Jack, 1 vote for Nick, which is a total of 16, which makes it correct, of course. And so Julie then reveals what the role of camp director is. So they are safe at the first live eviction. Safety, but obviously huge target on your back. So moving forward after first eviction, watch your back. And basically what he has to do is, his role is to banish 4 house guests. So they will be out the game and they're going to battle to return to the game. So it's a re-entry comp essentially. And the 4th place person in that competition will be evicted from the house. And straight away in the diary room, Cliff was like, no, don't pick me, help the old man, which I found quite funny. Please, like, honestly, I've heard the rumours of who's being banished and who's been evicted. I'm not going to, you can probably find them on the internet. I'm not going to go over it quick, but now, because I don't want to sort of spoil just in case. But I really hope that, my initial thoughts beforehand were like, come on, I just want Cliff to be safe through this. It would be nice to not see the old man go, well, considerably older than the other house guests, go first. Whether that be through a comp or an eviction style, like a proper vote. So I'm fully rooting for Cliff. I'm making that known now. But yeah, that's a big power that Jackson's got, because he could make a big move, but it's hard to make a big move, you see, because a big move would be putting 4 physical threats in, banishing them. But then again, the 3 physical threats that come back, that puts an even bigger target on your back, still be gunning for you. So it's a risky game, and we got to see what he can do, because if he's going to be seen as a weak game player if he puts 4 non-threats into the comp. So we'll see where that goes as well. But then again, though, if he puts 4 weak threat in, the 3 that come back, well, they'll be gunning for him, but they won't be able to do it as hard as a physical threat. So yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that plays out, and we're probably going to find out on tonight's episode, and I will be back here tomorrow to break down that episode. But besides that, Jackson was ending stuff with, he was sort of just telling folks, yeah, I'm sorry to sort of anyone who has to feel the wrath, and I didn't want to do it. What can you say in that situation? I guess that's the best thing to say. But yeah, besides that, I thought it was a fantastic episode, and I really did enjoy it. But I've got a little other news. As I said, if you checked out my last video, this summer I'm partnering up with an app called TVCO, and I'll be doing some live video stuff on there. And tonight is the first night of streaming for me. I did like a test stream the other night, but this is proper tonight. I will be streaming from 5:30 p.m. EST, and I think I'm going to be on for about an hour and a half. So if you all could download the app, I'll probably put the link in the for the app in the description. It's in the last one as well if you want to check that out. In fact, yeah, I'll just tag this video, the last video in there, so you can get the link from there. And yeah, come join me, because we'll be chatting all things BB21, and y'all can add some questions, and we'll just chat, and it'll be nice to get to know you, like some of my viewers as well, because that's it's been going for a good few months now, so it'll be nice to know sort of who's watching, and I'll look forward to it. I really will. Chatting BB and with the Big Brother community is going to be fantastic. Can't wait for it. So please tune in. It's TVCO, 5:30 p.m. My name on it is just TV Talks with Tom, without spaces between each word. So yeah, just tune in, and yeah, drop some questions, drop some likes, and yeah, I'm going to really look forward to it. So TVCO, 5:30 p.m. EST tonight. If you are watching this video after I've announced this, then there'll be plenty of other opportunities to catch me, because I'm streaming all throughout the summer. I think I'm probably going to be doing it about 3 nights a week. So you're going to have plenty of opportunity, and I'll really look forward to those of you. And I really appreciate a lot to those of you who will join me on TVCO, because that'll just be fantastic to get some more support. So yeah, it's been fantastic doing this episode. Great start to BB21. I can't wait for the summer ahead of us, and I'm hoping it's going to be absolutely amazing, and I'm sure it will. But besides that, let's see all the cliche stuff now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that jazz. I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.